Cody Rhodes promo is next. This will not be a regular street fight, he says. That was all this was, by the way. No John Cena. This reminds me of the WrestleMania build when Cena wasn't there often. So Cody, like he usually does, he's usually in something with Rock, Roman, John Cena. Poor Cody. He usually has to sell these feuds by himself. And he did that last night in a promo. But again, those words that he said, this will not be a regular street fight. I'm holding you to it, dude. Veteran subscribers to this channel know very well how I feel about street fights. If you're going to call it a street fight, it has to have something to do with an actual street. I don't care if it's a couple of minutes, but go out into the street and then come back if you gotta. But don't call it a street fight and then all you're doing is using some kendo sticks, some trash cans and trash can lids, some thinly placed wooden tables. Maybe you got some ladders. That's not a street fight. I don't know how many street fights you guys have been in, but I've been in many, and I don't recall using or having a kendo stick be used. I don't remember too many tables that I was, maybe the bar room, yes, actually. But that would just be called a bar fight. Anyway, trash cans and trash can lids, I don't remember picking up too many. I don't know, man. I don't know how many ladders I would have. Hold on, right? I'm going to get a ladder in my street fights. I don't know. That's not a street fight. In pro wrestling, that's called no holds barred or no DQ. No DQ, no count out. There's names for that. So isn't a street fight in WWE today, I'm being serious, isn't that just a no DQ match? Isn't that just what a no holds barred match is? Why are we calling it a street fight? A street fight should be reserved for an actual street fight. No? So Cody says this will not be a regular street fight. All right. It's not like they're at a regular arena. They can just go out a back door and there's the parking lot and then the street. This is a stadium, MetLife. So Cena is very limited anyway. That's why this is even a street fight and not a wrestling match. Cena knows he can't really have those type of matches anymore. So it's a street fight. Okay, so get cinematic with it. Cody says this is not your regular street. Start off in the street, man. MetLife, you have New York, New Jersey, man. You're right on that line. Start off in a subway or start off in the street. I don't know. Cody gets jumped in the parking lot or jumps John Cena. They leak out into the street. They somehow hit the PATH train into the city. I don't care. You start the night off with that. By the end of the night, they wind up back at the arena and they leak through they wind up in the ring somehow. Listen. You go, BC, that's so bonkers, man. That's not even realistic. Are you kidding me? One of the funnest things, man, was back at WrestleMania 12. It was Goldust and Roddy Piper. They were supposed to have what was called a Hollywood Backlot Brawl. Hollywood Backlot Brawl. So you have to be in the Hollywood backlot. So what does this have to do with the people that pay the money? They want to see them in the ring. So what they did, they started out in the Hollywood backlot, in the parking lot, and they were beating the heck out of each other. Roddy Piper and Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, started out in the parking lot, in the streets. Goldust jumps in a vehicle. Roddy Piper jumps in a vehicle. They take it to the streets, and they literally ride around L.A. It was the OJ white SUV Jeep deal. Do you guys remember that? Probably too young. Anyway, so throughout the event, WrestleMania, they kept going back to the chase. Roddy Piper is chasing down Goldust was the storyline. And you keep going back and there's this aerial footage. It was the OJ footage because it was the white vehicle. But you didn't know that it was Roddy Piper is the story. So he's chasing Goldust through the streets of Los Angeles. And by the end of WrestleMania 12, not the actual main event, but toward the end of the show, they come back to the stadium, to the arena. And they start brawling back into the arena and eventually would get to the ring. So the fans were even more into it because they've been following this on the Tron the whole time throughout the show. And now they get to see it right in front of them. My point is, guys, it's just creativity. It's pro wrestling. It's supposed to be wacky and outside the box. That's why we fell in love with it. We talk about Hulk Hogan and characters like that. Larger than life. Storylines that are wild. That's what wrestling is. We have to get out of this mindset that it's a true sport and we have to find out the winners and the losers and just put on your wrestling tights and have a 5-star classic. Do some flips and dives and make us go, this is awesome 12 times a match. That's making wrestling boring. It's not where wrestling was, is, and wrestling can't survive like that. We need larger than life characters. Where all these wrestlers are passing away, and there's nobody with that type of charisma and personality replacing them. We're losing the Savages and the Warriors and the Hogans and such, and the Pipers we just mentioned, gone. Where's the next crop that has that type of personality or charisma, or even in the same ballpark? There is none. Get creative. You call this a street fight. Cody just said it's not going to be your regular street fight. Cool? Make it cinematic. Start outside. It's MetLife, bro. You're in New York, New Jersey. You're right on the line. There's so much you could do. And you could always find your way back into the arena. Creativity. Make this fun. You got over a full week after Cody just said this. You have over a full week. BC's going to hold you to it. It's not your regular street fight. Cool? Let's do this. Get creative. Get out of MetLife. And then find your way back. Make it creative. Make it a whole... It's 2 nights, too, by the way. You can make this so cool throughout the whole night. They're night 2. We're going to go over the night card, by the way. They announced all of night 1 and night 2. SummerSlam Saturday, SummerSlam Sunday. So this is going to be the main event of SummerSlam night 2, Sunday. So you have all show to do all of that and then wind up back in the arena. Creativity. But you're probably just going to get Cody and Cena in the ring. Kendo sticks, tables, ladders, trash cans, steel steps. And before we wrap up this upload, in regards to SummerSlam as well, this past Friday on SmackDown, WWE officially announcing the match lineup for both SummerSlam Saturday and SummerSlam Sunday. As it sits right now, as of this recording, there are 6 announced matchups for SummerSlam Saturday and 5 announced matchups for SummerSlam Sunday. On Saturday, Punk vs. Gunther, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso vs. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, Tiffany Stratton vs. Jade Cargill, Alexa Bliss and Charlie Flair vs. Roxy and Raquel Rodriguez, Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre vs. Jelly Roll and Randy Orton and Sami Zayn vs. Karrion Kross. On SummerSlam Sunday, John Cena vs. Cody Rhodes, Becky Lynch vs. Lyra Valkyria, Naomi vs. Io Sky vs. Rhea Ripley, and Solo Sikoa vs. Jacob Fatu, and Dominic Mysterio vs. AJ Styles. So by BC's calculations, my Steiner math, there's at least 3 more matches that need to be put into play. And you only have 1 week to do such, because I do feel for an event the magnitude of SummerSlam, a 7 to 8 match lineup is right in the wheelhouse of where they should be. Perhaps 9 to 10 matches is too much these days, I understand, but 5 or 6 matchups is way too little. These fans showing up to MetLife are paying a lot of money. 5 to 6 matches on the card might get you by on a Backlash, or a Vengeance, or a Clash in Paris. But this is not. This is SummerSlam. You talked a big game. You said WrestleMania, and now SummerSlam is too big for one night. But it doesn't seem it, because you can't even fill up the second night. WrestleMania, most matches were thrown out within 1 week's time, right up until the event itself. SummerSlam ain't that much better. We're still getting matches chucked out, and I still think 3 more need to be placed. Because again, there's only 5 matches SummerSlam Sunday. Could you imagine paying thousands of dollars and you're getting 5 matches? And Saturday's only got 1 more. You would have think this is an NXT takeover. This is SummerSlam. It's too big for one night. Is it? I'm just asking. Is it? Because you could have placed the 6 and the 5 and had an 11 match card. Is it a bit too much? Would it go very long? Yes. Have we done it in the past? Yes. But a second night? You can't fill it up. You got the talent. You got enough talent. Where's LA Knight on this thing? Word is that Seth Rollins was supposed to beat LA Knight at Saturday night's main event, and then LA Knight was supposed to get that win back at SummerSlam. LA Knight versus Seth, and LA Knight wins. Well, what happened to the original report that Rollins was going to take on Roman? None of this makes sense. And either which way, you still had a couple weeks. Why is LA Knight not on this card? Has anybody seen R-Truth Ron Killings? He was on top of the wrestling world several weeks back. Naturally, organically, this dude was the talk of the wrestling world. I can go on and on. SummerSlam needs a bit more. 6 on Saturday and 5 on Sunday is not gonna cut it. Until next time, and there will be that next time, BC and the Amplified Unit. We're saying check you. Salut.